Hello, this is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach. And what if I told you that in this video, I will give you the number one secret? Let's keep it simple. I'm going to give you the number one secret to guarantee that you will remain consistent. So stick around to the end and leave me a comment. If you leave me a comment, I will reply to you. So, without further ado, let's look into the number one secret that will guarantee your consistency. Consistency starts with an important goal. Remaining consistent and steadfast is a feat that does not happen without some strong and motivating reason to do so. There are so many environmental factors, biological tendencies, people, and unexpected events that can and will throw us off the path if there is not a well thought out plan and a powerful commitment to continue. In fact, remaining consistent in the real world of ongoing events is one of the most counterintuitive human endeavors ever. It is rather amazing, in my opinion, whenever we do find someone who is regularly and consistently pursuing a worthwhile goal. There, I've said it. I have just given you the key. There must be an important and worthwhile goal in order for consistency to even stand a chance. Your important goal is the reason why you are willing to do whatever it takes in order to remain consistent. It is not even all that important to know how you will be able to succeed. It is more important to know why you must succeed. If the why is big enough, the how will take care of itself. I read some time ago a thought which summarizes well what I'm trying to say here. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Inertia is the first barrier to consistency. An object at rest will remain at rest until acted upon by an outside force. This is Newton's first law of motion, which all middle schoolers learn in the 7th and the 8th grade. This is Newton's attempt to describe inertia. Though a better-than-nothing type of explanation of inertia, there are several fallacious assumptions inherent in Newton's law that makes this law very tenuous. First of all, complete inertia or absence of activity is unprovable. There is a constant, non-stop movement in all of life. Even at the molecular level, there is a theoretical activity of neutrons, protons, and electrons. I think that what Newton meant to say is that where there is no apparent motion, an object will remain in its state of non-apparent motion until acted upon by an observable outside force. Is a flower in motion or is it at rest? This all depends on the accessible tools of measurement and the time factor to observe it, which will later make its movement obvious. Just because movement can't be seen or measured doesn't mean it doesn't exist. My point is that inertia is a state where forces are moving you in a direction which is contrary to where you would like to go. These moving forces may not be immediately observable, but they can indeed be felt, thus validating their existence. Try starting any new habit that is in stark contrast to a present habit, and you will feel the resistance. Try not eating junk food all at once, and the forces that move contrary to your changing to a new habit will begin to exert itself. You can get the feeling that you are stuck where you are, therefore arising the concept of inertia. The irony of inertia is that the forces that keep inertia in place are everything but stable. They are dynamic and push in all different directions, even though this push may not be immediately observable. So, the first barrier to become consistent in a new direction is to push against the forces of inertia until inertia to stay where you are begins to weaken, thus giving way to the creation and maintenance of a new way of life. Procrastination is the second barrier to consistency. Procrastination usually happens in the beginning once you have recognized the change that must be made. Procrastination is how inertia maintains its status quo. One misconception that I would like to dispel about procrastination is that procrastination has to do with laziness or indifference. To the contrary, the majority of people who can recognize the need for change and who make the decision to do something about it are usually far from lazy or indifferent. Procrastination has to do with fear. All change is an invitation to venture into the unknown. And on a superconscious level, self-survival level, the message of all that which is unknown is danger, possible threat to survival. So all eagerness to get going with change is diminished. It is commonly said people don't like change, and now you can understand why. The good news is that the initial resistance to change that manifests itself as the feeling of procrastination is not that difficult to reverse and to dissipate. Resistance is present, so that there will have to be some counterforce effort on your part. My first suggestion to overcoming procrastination is to recognize that it is a tough opponent, but not an invincible one. There is a gradual approach to overcoming initial procrastination, and there is an all or none approach. The first approach, the gradual approach, is a little more practical for most people, while the second one, the all or none approach, takes much more power of will and a higher tolerance for temporary discomfort. Let us say you want to get up at 5 a.m. and start going to the gym to work out every morning. The problem is, of course, you usually wake up at 6 a.m. And the idea of getting up an hour earlier seems like a monumental feat. In taking the gradual approach, you may need to prepare yourself for several days before you can accomplish this new routine. You may have to prepare your clothes before going to bed, have your meals ready for the morning, and of course, begin to go to bed an hour earlier. These pre-rituals are the connected consistency events that are part of the new regime. The all or none approach is when you force yourself into the new routine day after day, in spite of everything that's going on inside of you, which is telling you, you don't have to do this. If you persist over the course of a few days, or a week, or a month, you can definitely begin to feel the resistance of procrastination subside. So, in summary, the first key, essential secret to overcoming procrastination and inertia is to have a most important goal that will allow you and give you the motivation to remain and to stay consistent until you achieve your goal. So now, did you get it? I hope you really captured the importance and the essence of the message and why setting a goal, an important goal, is the number one secret to remaining consistent. Now, before I go, I would like to invite you to my community where you can have access to live coaching calls on how to remain consistent to achieve whatever it is that you have set, as well as have access to accountability partners who are members as yourself, who will help you to stay focused and keep on track until you achieve your goal. So, I would like you to go now and check out the Prosper Consistency Success membership site. Go now to www.consistencysuccesscoach.com, and you will be glad that you did. So, until the next time, stay consistent and be successful.